Okay, so the moment you have all been waiting for. The official review of WWE 2K15 on current gen. Now this is going to be a long one. Reason being because I don't want to be like everybody else who gives this game like a 2-minute, 3-minute review and doesn't talk about everything there is to talk about. I'm not one of these guys that doesn't watch WWE, doesn't like WWE, don't really play WWE games like that, but yet still review them. I'm not one of those guys, you know me. I'm a simulation wrestling gamer, but I'm not going to review the game just based on simulation wrestling. I'm going to talk about every single aspect of this game that I have personally played. I'm not going to talk about Universe, and I'm not going to talk about my career because I don't give two shits about those modes. Some of you have been asking me to play my career. I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. Mostly because prior to going into career mode, I already did my moveset, I already unlocked everything, and going into my career defaults all that shit, and I don't have time to sit there and go through the whole entire thing all over again. Not gonna happen. Ain't nobody got time for that. So to do this review, I'm gonna break it off into subcategories. It's gonna be visuals, it's gonna be gameplay, it's gonna be call mode, and it's going to be replay value. So to start off, let's talk about the visuals, the graphics, the things that you notice immediately when you buy the game. Now for starters, the majority of the in-game models are superb. Guys like John Cena, guys like Orton, Mark Henry, hell, even the guys who weren't scanned like Lesnar and Rock, those guys look fantastic. But then there are people who were scanned and they don't look so great. Guys like Shawn Michaels, people like Nikki and Brie. I don't know what it is, but they all seem to have the exact same problem around the cheek area, where their cheeks look like cupcakes or somebody got stung by killer bees. But for some reason, it's just that cheek area that makes them not look as good as the rest of them. Like, I know for a fact Rock wasn't scanned. Rock looks amazing. But I know for a fact that Nikki and Brie and Shawn Michaels were scanned and their faces don't look all that great. I don't know what happened. And then you have the body models. From the neck down, I have not seen not one single model that looks awful. I've seen ones that might be a little bit exaggerated, but for the most part, they all look spot on and fantastic. As for the hair physics are way better this year. I remember somebody mentioning they look like little strands of spaghetti, but that's okay because they move like actual hair. I don't think it'll ever be possible for hair to move like, real life hair. So I think little strands of spaghetti is as good as it's gonna get, unless they use Tress Effects. I don't know if you guys know what Tress Effects is. That's what's been used in the Tomb Raider games for PC and for Xbox One and PS4. I don't think that's gonna be possible in WWE games, at least not for everybody, because that takes up a lot of goddamn memory. And then there's little things like the logos, the WWE logos not being in certain areas. I don't know about you, but I'm sorry, but I do not buy WWE games to stare at the goddamn logo. Yeah, it's an inaccuracy that they don't have the new WWE logo in all the places, but I'm not going to base my purchase decision based on logos. There is one little thing that I mentioned that I don't know if other people have picked up on, is the apron. The apron doesn't seem to move at all. Like, compared to last gen, the apron would always be moving. Which would be weird, because it'd be like there's a fan underneath the ring that makes it move all the time. But compared to current gen, that thing is as static as hell. The only time it moves is when you go for, to get a weapon. Other than that, it looks like it moves, but it doesn't move. That's just my pet peeve. I'm sorry. If you don't give a crap about it, that's fine. I don't give a crap about it. Just something that when I look at, I'm like, yo, why the hell isn't that moving? But overall, the anti-aliasing is great, the depth of field is great, but you do not get to appreciate those things unless you're either in call mode or you're watching an entrance. Because there's no highlight reel, there's no instant replay feature, you don't really get to appreciate most of the visuals because you're kind of far back. You don't get to go in and replay certain moments or check out how good the depth of field is or the anti-aliasing. You don't really get to appreciate those things unless you're watching an entrance or you're in call mode. So far, I would give the visuals on PS4 and Xbox One an 8.9 out of 10. I would have given it a 9, but I took away that 1 point because it's on PS4 and Xbox One, and if it's coming to PC, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a hell of a lot better. Moving on, car mode. Now this is going to be a very touchy-feely subject. As we all know, there's been a lot of things that have been removed from car mode, but at the same time, we all know that there's been a lot of things that have been updated and added to car mode. But first, we're going to talk about the things that are gone. Well, for starters, you can't have 4 tires. You can only have 2 for 1 slot. That, to me, it's not such a big deal, having 2 tire slots instead of 4. Yes, it's less, but at the same time, when you look at the fidelity of the cars, they're a hell of a lot better than last gen. I can understand that. And then you have the 25 slots over the 100 slots we used to have. Again, looking at how good these cars look, looking at the hair physics, how much 3D parts you can add, I can understand having 25 slots as opposed to 100. So I'm not really fussed about that. Does it suck for people who have universe and call leagues and that stuff? Yeah, it sucks, but you're only looking at one side of the coin. Some people like to argue, oh, the power of the console, oh, the power of the console. These consoles are not magic wands. These are not unicorns. They're not magic devices that let you do whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want. They have limits. These companies are still trying to figure out what they can and can't do with these consoles. So for the first year of WWE games being on PS4 and Xbox One, I can understand the 25 car slots. Now you have the gender restriction for car mode. You cannot make divas. That I don't understand. We still haven't found out why we can't make divas. And I'm not going to sit here and assume why you can't either. We don't know. I'm not going to act as if I do know. And I'm not going to get all up in arms and say, oh my gosh, screw you 2K. You don't like divas. That's why you didn't put them in the game. Because that's fucking stupid. I've heard people blame the WWE for divas not being in WWE 2K15. I've heard people blame 2K because they're sexist for not putting them in the game. I've heard things like console limitations. That's why they're not in the game. We don't know why they're not in the game. We don't know what situation they ran into during the development process. We don't know what the hell happened. So all we can do is assume and speculate until they actually come out and tell us why they couldn't get divas in the game. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. But until that happens, people just need to shut the hell up because we do not know. Moving on. Logo importing. That, in my opinion, is the best thing that has ever happened to car mode. You already know why. Now there is no longer a need to hack the goddamn console. No need for tools. No need to pay for those tools that people don't want to make free. Now all you have to do is make whatever the hell you want in Photoshop or GIMP or Paint, upload it to their server and download it on your console and put it on your car. Amazing. Simply amazing. I mean, the downfall to that is that you only have 8 paint tools to use opposed to the 10 that we had on last gen. And before the game came out, I was fine with that because I had it in my mind that, okay, if I'm going to do my trunks, I can do the front and the back in one paint tool, in one logo, and put it on and just wrap it around my car one time. I thought I was going to be able to do that. I thought if I was going to do my tights, I'll be able to do the front and the back of my tights and just wrap it around my car in one logo. I thought I was going to be able to do that. But lo and behold, when the game comes out and I try to do that shit, when you try to stretch a logo, whether it be around the arms, around the legs, around anywhere, it fades on the sides. That pissed me off. That immensely pissed me off because it put a monkey wrench in all of my plans. So now instead of wrapping my sleeve tattoo around one arm, or instead of wrapping my tights or my trunks, instead of wrapping those logos around the area, now I have to break them up. Now I have to take the same logo, the same tattoo, the same sleeve, and pattern it around my arm. And I don't want to do that. I hate doing that. It sucks. It looks stupid. I don't want to have the same thing on one side and the same thing on the other side. I don't want to have to do that. But the good side to that is now you can actually free roam tattoos. And a lot of people got confused when you say free roaming tattoos. They don't know what the hell that is. Go back and play WWE games on last gen. If you put a tattoo on the chest, try moving that to the shoulder and see where it's going to go. it's going to disappear. On the current gen, put a tattoo on the chest and try moving it to the shoulder area and see where it goes. It's going to go on the goddamn shoulder. Now, you can't free roam them anywhere. Like, you can't put a logo on the face and move it all the way down to the shoulder. That's not going to work. But it works when the two body parts are relatively close to each other. As for the 3D parts, I absolutely love that you have WWE superstar parts in there. Like, you have everything from Roman Reigns' vest to freaking Alberto Del Rio's boots, Austin's knee pad braces, which look pinpoint accurate. Finally. They even give you Triple H's King of Kings crown. I don't know who the hell is going to want to use that, but they have it in there. Like, everything the superstars have on their attires, it's in call mode, and I love that. So, out of 10, I'm going to give call mode, in my opinion, remember this now, in my opinion, I'm giving call mode an 8.5 out of 10. I would give it a 9. Hell, I even wanted to give it a 10 because I love call mode. But because of the things that we lost, because of the things that we're not able to do, I can't give it a 9, and I sure as hell can't give it a 10. So 8.5 is what I'm sticking to for call mode. And oh, I almost forgot to mention the morphing. I can't stand the morphing. The morphing is horrible. Now, I know it's not anybody's particular idea over there at 2K to purposely make it that way and not give us more options. I'm pretty sure you guys wanted to give us more options, but you couldn't due to time constraints. Maybe that's the case. But we want the option to morph our feet, our hands, our calves, thighs, biceps, triceps, shoulders, neck, all that good stuff. All the little things that we were able to morph, we want those back. Because even though it's possible to make a fat caw, a hefty caw, it is not possible to make, really big, fat, hefty caws. It feels like everybody now has the exact same size. Everybody has the same bone structure, and it wasn't that way on last gen. So I'm gonna need for you guys to put that back in the game. Moving on, gameplay. My favorite part. The sole reason I bought this game for the gameplay. Now, when I first played the match, very first match, I immediately fell in love. I didn't know everything there was to do, but I immediately fell in love. This has got to be the best simulation wrestling game I have ever played. I've played All-Star Pro Wrestling 3. I've played King of Colosseum 1 and 2. I've played Giant Graham. I've played Fire Pro Wrestling. I've played everything. I want to play 5-star wrestling, but at this point, that thing is a unicorn. It's a leprechaun. Nobody knows about it. It doesn't exist. But the little things about this game, like the stamina changes everything. Everything. Like, if you were to turn stamina off, there would be very little differences between last gen and current gen. If you turn stamina off, stamina changes the game for the better. It adds a whole new dimension of drama and storytelling. And the way stamina is tied to the game mechanics, now you have to position yourself better. If you want to work a match with somebody and they're going for diving moves, you can't just rely on the game to put you in the right position. You have to get in the right position to take those moves, to take those diving moves. You have to put yourself in the right position to get hit with moves, which is weird because that's what happens in real life, and you couldn't do that on last gen. You had to rely on the game letting you get up at the right time. You had to rely on timing when this guy's gonna get up because you don't know. You have no visual cues as to when that guy's gonna get up. Now you have all the clues in the world. Now you can set things up with ease. You don't have to rely on the game's timing. Now there are a few things that I have some peeves with, like the submission system. In this day and age in 2014 on current gen, I think that crawling for a submission would warrant holding on to the ropes. It was done on last gen in 2007, and as soon as 2008 came, that whole struggle submission system was introduced, and it just completely screwed up submissions from there on in. Grabbing onto the ropes for rope breaks is essential, and it needs to be in wrestling games. Ignoring the 4 count, that needs to be in wrestling games as well, because if you can't do that, then what is the purpose of being a heel? You know, being a heel has been neglected in the past few years. That as well as the 10 count. I was under the impression that now that we can crawl for the ropes to pull ourselves up, now that we can both stay down on the mat, I was under the impression that now the 10 count would be reintroduced, and that's not the case. Now, if two guys are on the mat, the referee will just stand there and look at you. That needs to be fixed for next year, because that is supposed to trigger the 10 count where both guys are supposed to get up before the count of 10. I was under the impression that last man standing matches would use this crawling mechanism, and that's not the case. It's the same way as last year, where you just stand there and try to time that stupid, ridiculous bar to get up. That is one thing I don't like about these games anymore. I can't stand the kick out meter. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, offline, I can't kick out to save my life, compared to online, where I can kick out with a little more success compared to offline. Offline, I can't do anything. You can do an arm drag and pin me. I'll miss that meter right at the beginning of the bar like 5 times in a row. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's input delay or it moves too fast. I don't know, but I can't stand the kick out meter. That thing needs to go. Or maybe not. Maybe it can stay, but I don't know why resiliency is not in the game anymore, but that does not make things any better. In fact, that makes things worse. What I also do not like about the pinning system is that when you let go of a pin now, they don't give you a kick out animation. And that ruins, it absolutely ruins matches. If you're working a match and you pin a guy and you want to let him out because he couldn't kick out himself, now all you do this nonchalant, okay, I'm going to get off this guy now. It looks stupid. Now you can't manually hook the far leg. Last year, you can hook the far leg whenever the hell you wanted to if you were in the right position. Now, if you don't hit a person with a finisher and you try to pin them, they just go for that arrogant pin. I don't like that. If I want to hook the leg, I want to be able to hook the leg whenever the hell I want. I don't want to have to hit a finisher to hook the leg. Also, another thing that I can't stand that is very annoying, it was annoying last gen and it's just as annoying this gen. Outside dives after running off the ropes. Now, I understand that there are moves when you're getting up. There are running strike moves when a person is kneeling inside the ring. But let's use a bit of common sense here, 2K. If a person is on the outside of the ring and he's on his knees, he's getting ready to get up. Why the hell are you triggering my in-ring running strike kneeling moves when he's on the outside? How the hell am I going to hit a running strike on a kneeling person who's outside the ring? I don't know if you purposely meant to do that. I don't know if that was something that was overlooked, but it's annoying. I noticed that when I hit the ropes and I try to run back off of them to hit an outside dive, I'm either doing a running kneeling attack or it's just not triggering at all. I have to literally wait for that person to get to their feet and not move at all and not hit the ropes, because if I hit the ropes and I try to do it, it's going to botch. I just have to hit the ropes and then stop and then start running again and wait for them to get to their feet and then do it. It's very tedious and it's annoying, and I don't want to have to go through all that crap. But other than those few things that I've mentioned, I love the gameplay, and out of 10, I am going to give it a 9. It's not perfect, so I'm not giving it a 10. In fact, I don't know if there's going to be any 10s handed out in this review. Moving on. Community creations. I probably should have included this in the call mode section, but whatever. Community creation this year is a lot better. It is so much better. Around this time, if this was last gen, we would all be pissed off because we can't get on the servers. It's overloaded. You can't connect. You can't download. You can't upload because the servers are screwed. That doesn't seem to be the case this year. I think it's because of the limitations on uploads and downloads. I'm not sure, but I think that's why. This year you can only upload up to, I think it's 5. You can only upload up to 5 pieces of content, whether it be cars or movesets. You can only upload 5. Some people might look at that and say that sucks, but for me personally, it doesn't, because I only make 1 car, so I really don't care. As for logos, you can upload up to, I think, they say 10? I don't know. It's either 10 a day, or I think it's 10 a day. You can upload up to 10 a day, but you can, I don't know. I think it's you can upload 20 and download 10. I don't know. I'm not looking at it right now. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but the process of doing that is you go to community creations, you generate a code, then you go to the website on your computer, you type the code in, and now you can upload up to 5 logos. Whatever 5 logos you want, but they have to be in 512 by 512. They can be less than that, whatever, but the max is 512 by 512. So out of 10, I would give community creations a 9. It's not perfect. There's some things I don't like about it, like the only being able to upload 5, but whatever. It works as advertised. It's not bad. Its servers are running. I'm going to give it a 9. Now, I think this is going to be the last subhead, online. Online. Online can be very, very frustrating. When you have a party of maybe 6 people and you want to get in a chamber or a Hell in a Cell, good luck with that. I find it that if you have 6 people, one of those 6 people or 2 of those 6 people, they're not going to be able to make it into the match. I find it that when the match is loading, you'll see somebody's character silhouette, and when they silhouette, that means everything is gone to crap. So you might as well just, close the application, go to the dashboard, whatever, and try again. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that happens. It's annoying. It's a waste of time, and it pisses me off. One-on-one matches, for that matter, there is a annoying input delay online. It's not like it was last year on last gen. On last gen, there really was no delay. The way the game was played offline was pretty much the way the game was played online, minus the kickout meter. The kickout meter was the one that usually had a delay. But this year, it seems like everything has like a second or a half-second delay, and it kind of throws you off. It kind of impedes what you really want to do. So you have to kind of think about what you want to do and then do it before you really want to do it. It's like Park on NBA 2K15, where you got to do what you want to do before that and then watch it happen afterwards. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. There are no entrances online. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, that could be a good thing, because I remember there'd be times on last gen where if you leave entrances on, then you would desync. You and whoever you're playing against, you'd end up in different matches. You'll be playing the AI, and he be playing the AI. You think you're playing each other, but then you realize you're not. So I think that's a good thing why entrances aren't online, but it's a bad thing because you kind of want to see entrances. Then you'd have to download the person's call and record their entrances and upload it to YouTube. That can be tedious, but it's an alternative. So I don't know how to feel. Other than that, there's not much that I can say I don't like about online besides blood. Blood, that's another thing. There's no blood online again. And blood, I don't understand what it is about blood. For some reason, Cause cannot bleed. I don't know why. When you make them bleed, the red flashes on the screen, they hold their face in the animation. Oh, I'm bleeding, yada, yada, yada. But they don't bleed. There is absolutely not a single particle of blood that comes out. I remember when I was testing it out, I sat there for like 15 minutes, hitting this person with a chair over and over and over again. He's bleeding, but you can't see it. You cannot see it. Maybe it's because of face textures. I don't know. I haven't tested that. But for the most part, I've noticed that Cause don't bleed. That sucks. Replay value. If you're a fan of wrestling, if you're a fan of working matches, this game will not ever get old to you. You'll always find something to do. If you're a fan of call making, you'll keep making calls until you run out of slots. There ain't much replay value in call making until you run out of slots. After you run out of slots, there ain't much replay value in making calls. As for the rivalry mode and universe mode, I can't really say because I haven't played those modes that much. But as for the gameplay, the one-on-one gameplay, I would say the replay value is about a 9. Reason being is, for me personally, I haven't got tired of playing this game yet. And I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of playing this game. So, given the gameplay, the visuals, the call mode, the online, the community creations, given all those things around an 8.5 or an 8.9, I'm gonna have to give this game overall, I'd have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. We've gotten a lot this year, but at the same time, we've lost a lot. And I can't ignore the things that we've lost just because we've gotten more. At the same time, I'm not going to burn 2K down to the ground because we lost some things. This is the rebuilding year. Some people don't understand that. Some people wanted everything on last gen to be brought to the current gen, and it just does not work like that. This game is not a port. In fact, I would be very, very upset if this game was a port. If you want a game to be ported, look at Madden. Look at Madden 15, look at Madden 25 on PS4 and Xbox One, and then look at Madden on PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. That is a port. WWE 2K15 on current gen is not a port, and I'm glad for that. To the people who are upset because they lost things, we understand. You want your divas, you want your cost lots, you want all those things. We understand. But it's the first year. You're going to lose those things before you start to get them back. So yeah, that has been my review on WWE 2K15. 8.5 out of 10. Not perfect, not great, not horrible, not bad. I personally, I'm in love with this game, and I'm going to enjoy it for the rest of the year. So yeah, there you have it. I will see you guys later.